In a region typified by change, Istanbul is in the midst of a renaissance of its own. Fueled by a growing economy and near endless ambition, the city is embracing its former pedigree as a world capital, worthy of an empire. It is a canvas where Turkey's desire to emerge as a regional powerhouse is negotiated through an engagement with its Ottoman past and reverence to the modern nation-state. The lines between past and present blur in the constant battle to forge a new identity, proud of its provenance as a bridge between Asia and Europe. An intoxicating mix of old and new, east and west, Istanbul's physical landscape is infused with a sort of introspection that has attracted writers from time immemorial. In the Korkuma neighborhood, Orhan Pamuk's Museum of Innocence is a snapshot of Istanbul in transition. The museum is a physical embodiment of Pamuk's book of the same name. It tells the story of a simple Turkish family through the details of everyday life. With a pervasive rose-tinted ambiance, Pamuk presents a slice of carefully curated history that meanders through Istanbul as only a local would know it.
In my childhood, Istanbul was not as happy and sugary as it seems today, that I would feel a certain melancholy, perhaps related to the decline of Ottoman Empire and perhaps related to the fact that we were all living very provincial lives at the edge of Europe. Museum of Innocence tries to convene the feeling of loss, sadness, melancholy at the edge of Europe.
The museum is an island of calm, in an urban environment transforming at a chaotic pace. Once forgotten neighborhoods are changing overnight, emerging from hibernation as old buildings are replaced with new structures. In such an electric atmosphere, the story of a family, illuminated through Pamuk's prose and attention to detail, reveals the complex mosaic of this city.
Asking me what's your relation with the town is asking what's your relationship with your body. I've been living in Istanbul the last 60 years, and the change I have seen in the last 15 years is greater than the change I've seen in the first 45 years. The change is so amazing and strong that it's hard to pin it down, to see it, to describe it, and to narrate it, really. Perhaps the whole city is also confused by its past. Everyone's mind is busy putting the past on a pedestal, but we're worried what kind of pedestal it should be. Where should we put the past? And what kind of future we should invent? These are the issues now.
Just up the cobblestone streets from the Museum of Innocence, Istanbul's changes take a physical form on a large scale. Battles over the projected identity of Turkey, on the landmarks of the city, translate into protest. While disagreement over the future exists, pride in the changes is not in short supply.
There is a cyclical moment in history. Istanbul sometimes is shining and sometimes it's covered with dust. And now the time is coming for Istanbul to shine again. Istanbul has always been the commerce center of Turkey, but now it's becoming a regional hub and then hopefully a global hub for business people. Of course, not just me, there are people all around Istanbul and I would say all around the world who are investing in Istanbul with the hopes that it will shine.
It is tempting to interpret urban changes to Istanbul as a negative force, destroying the cultural heritage and vibrancy of the city. But not for Ecmel Ayral. His latest project, Tom Tom Gardens, embraces the changes unfolding in his city by ensuring that gentrifying districts retain their historical allure, while meeting the demands of the transformative climate engulfing the city.
If you're investing with an expectation to get your investment back in like 3 years, you can do it. But your investment will stay for the remaining life of its existence as a burden to Istanbul. So we have to be very careful. People are paying for the soul, for the intangible, not for the tangible. That's the most important element of the development we're trying to do. This is not a romantic claim. If you respect and take into consideration what has been there before you, the investment itself will be more feasible, more sustainable, more profitable for the investor as well.
As other parts of Europe struggle with financial crisis, Istanbul is not. Investment in tourism, spurred on by Turkey's increasingly central location, is felt here. With its airy and inviting brasserie in the center of the Nişantaşı neighborhood, Beymen's has been on the forefront of redefining what luxury means in Turkey, with a beautifully curated selection of the latest trends in Europe, mixed with the finest Turkey has to offer. Embracing a legacy of Turkish tradesmen, Beymen's is pushing luxury forward, with a careful ear to the ever-growing desires of Istanbul.
The good thing is that whoever comes to Istanbul, everybody talks about this energy, which is, we can't see it, we can't touch it, we just feel it. I believe people are more positive and probably are more welcome now compared to 80s and 90s towards people. Istanbul is finding the good balance. We are combining Asia and Europe.
In 1923, when Turkey became a modern secular republic from the ashes of the Ottoman Empire, carefully maintained identity proved to be the most important currency required to engineer the transition. The legacy is salient in the deep-seated nationalism, which runs through the country like a lifeblood, and finds physical form in the crescent and star, awash in the deep red of the Turkish national flag. Bold in appearance, the flag's design gives space to the collective aspirations of a country, still unsure of its political identity and molded by religious and secular inclinations.
Tabii ki Atatürk'ün yetiştirdiği, kendi ayaklarında duran, kendi görüşleri olan bir tasarımcıyım. Bugün bakıyorum Türkiye dizayn sahnesinde birçok arkadaş, birçok tasarımcı arkadaş da Türkiye'nin modern, girişimci ve dik duran gençleri.
In an increasingly saturated media climate, where every political stripe has its own newspaper, Hurriyet Daily News stands out as one of the country's most respected news organizations. Sema Topaloglu's atrium redesign at Hurriyet's Istanbul headquarters captures this veneration through the successful blending of Turkish national symbolism and an eye towards clean lines, which create a sense of calm amidst the bustle of the city.
Ustalar malzemeyle o kadar iyi birleşiyorlar ki bir köklerinden gelen otantik yaşam şekilleri ve çalışma şekilleri bugünkü sizin vizyonunuzla, bugünkü sizin isteklerinizle öyle güzel birleşiyor ki bu forma, objeye, malzemeye yansıdığı zaman da işte bugünkü farklı İstanbul dizayn sahnesini hep beraber zevkle izliyoruz.
Istanbul's shifting ground is proving an ideal focal point for design and artistic progression. Unwilling to confine themselves to white cubes, Turkey's creative community is taking to the streets and using the physical landscape to explore what it means to live in a changing society. The Istanbul Biennale is a case in point. From the derelict Talabashi neighborhood to the hustle of Taksim Square, the Biennale will stage outdoor installations. This city of 13 million people is proving to be a stage from which creativity born of ad hoc design can flourish.
Critical art projects are really to unfold the conflict embedded in the society or in the urban public spaces. Istanbul is a very beautiful city, has a special chemistry, special pace, and special problems. For that reason, I think art has a very fertile ground in Istanbul to comment on, to try to change, and to unfold.
Any snapshot of Istanbul at this moment of dramatic change is bound to be blurred, but one thing is for sure. The engine driving the city forward can be found in the breathtaking intersection of tradition and modernity, lurking behind every corner and dominating every skyline. As Turkey becomes ever more powerful on the international stage, it is not losing sight of its storied history. While it might be one of the oldest cities on earth, Istanbul is proving it is just getting started. In Istanbul, for Monocle, I'm Joseph Dana.